What's up everyone? So welcome to a video where we're going to be talking about the monitor that I use for my PC. So basically, some background to this monitor. I got it from Christmas from my girlfriend and also members of my family. They all chipped in and got me a pretty nifty monitor for Christmas. Now, until I got this monitor, I was actually using a 4K TV which has HDMI 2.0. Now, at the time I only had one GTX 980 strix, so 4K on a single 980, it was okay for older games, things like Modern Warfare 3 and Dirt 3 and older games that are getting on a little bit now. So basically, when I was asked what I want for Christmas, I said, well, I'll go down some pixels for my monitor. So I went from 4K down to a 27-inch 2560 by 1440, and the monitor in question is the PG279Q from Asus, which is the Republic of Gamers Swift. Now, since I've got this monitor, obviously the ultra wide Swifts came out, but to be honest with you, the 16:9 ratio, it's not too big, it's great, it does for me. So basically the headline features of this monitor are IPS, 2560 by 1440 and 165 Hz when overclocked. Now, the styling of the monitor, it has a flat base for the stand which lights up pretty cool with the ROG logo. It's my only gripe with this base is RGB. If I could match it with the lights in my keyboard, get it all running great, that would have been the icing on the cake for this stand for me. But another cool feature on the stand is the cable management hole around the back of the monitor, which it helps to hide the cables. The cables are still there, they're always going to be there, but it does have a little nifty way in the styling to hide the cables. Another great thing about this monitor is the styling itself. So we've got excellent cooling vents, it's got excellent movability, you can pivot, tilt, swivel, you can pretty much do anything you want a monitor to do. So setting up for your ergonomics of how comfortable you are looking at the monitor, what angles you want, things like that, it is a pretty good monitor for that scenario. So the panel itself is a 2560 by 1440 IPS. It has 178 degrees viewing angle, it is 60 Hz and 120 Hz, but when overclocked you'll get between 144 Hz and 165 Hz. Now, some of them when they first came out didn't quite reach the 165 Hz stably. I'm happy to report that my example, which obviously it must have been built say November, December time, but it came for Christmas, so this gets a solid 165 Hz regardless what I'm doing. It's constant, it doesn't matter whether I'm on desktop, Windows desktop, doesn't matter whether I'm gaming, regardless of the game, it's been faultless with me for that issue. So obviously, with this being the ROG monitor, it has G-Sync, which going from the 4K 60 Hz that I had through HDMI 2.0 to a G-Sync monitor, it is just so smooth. Even when the frame rates drop to about 45 frames, it's still hardly noticeable unless you've got a FPS counter in the corner of your monitor. So it is so smooth, it has totally transformed my gaming experience. So G-Sync, Nvidia, I'm sold on it now. I always thought it can't be like any better than what 60 Hz was on a TV that I was getting before, but now I've made the jump to a monitor with G-Sync. Absolutely unreal. So the features of this monitor that are specific to this one is things like you can change the game visuals. You can have like a low level blue light settings, so if you're playing a game in marathon, say like 5-6 hours on Call of Duty online, you can turn the blue lights down so it doesn't strain your eyes as much. It's got flicker free technology. You can also put crosshairs on your game. Now I don't do this, this is just, it's like, why? So also to add on the features, it's got built-in stereo speakers. So you have two 2-watt speakers. They're not the greatest to do the job. I'm currently on the market for 2.1 speakers just to get the decent audio quality. So it's got speakers, not great, but they could have been worse. Now what I want to talk about now is faults. Me myself, I think I've been lucky. I've been on the forums, I've seen people's issues, the basic issues like dead pixels, build quality. I've had none of these whatsoever. I've owned this now, it is now middle of April. I've had this 3.5 months, this monitor. I've beasted it, I've had marathon sessions on it, I've had it on 12 hours solid. I've been all sorts of games, things like that, watching YouTube videos. I've never experienced any problems with it. Now the only problem that, for me, it's not really an issue, but for some people is the IPS glow, but I can live with it. Me personally, I've got IPS TVs from LG. It's hardly noticeable, especially when like you're playing a racing game, everything's fast paced, you're focusing on the bright colours of the track, the grass, things like that, even in shoot 'em ups. But you do come now and again to a game where it is slightly noticeable in the dark areas. For me, I can live with this. I can understand that IPS is not perfect. This is just a trade-off that, because I wanted IPS, I wanted the colours, I have to put up with. So that brings me on to the conclusion. Now, this is my first proper monitor. Like I say before, I was using a 4K LG TV. It was 1496 by 2160 at 60 Hz. The quality of the picture was great, but I've made the jump for the gaming side of it. I've made the jump to a G-Sync monitor, 165 Hz. I've kept the IPS spec, so the colours are great. I've gone from God knows what milliseconds response time all the way down to what's rated as a 4 milliseconds response time. So I'm much faster, much better reactions in games, and all I can say is I can live with the IPS glow. I've had no other issues with build quality, dead pixels, etc. It's been absolutely amazing as a monitor. The only thing, if I'm really gonna complain about, is the stereo speakers. If the speakers were, for example, a brand, maybe Bose, Harman Kardon, any brand, even, I don't know, even if Sony, for example, built tiny speakers to go in the monitor, if they spent a little bit more time developing the speakers and the sound, this monitor would have been perfect. I can live with them, and like I say, this monitor has been great. I got it as a Christmas present, so it's been pretty fantastic for me. I've been pretty lucky to get this. So yeah, I'd give it 5 stars, 5 out of 5. That's my own rating system that you might hear more of in the future, maybe, I don't know. But thank you for watching. If you like this video, it's been short and sweet, it's my first effort at a review. But if you like this video, hit the like button. If you didn't like it, don't just hit the dislike button, leave a comment, tell me where I can go better. What can I do to improve my videos? But please, please, please subscribe. I'm getting off my feet. I want to do something with this channel, and I want to become something entertaining for you guys. I'm here for yous. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.